It wasn't even the pictures. I'm not that basic. It was the fucking timestamps. We had this shared drive, this stupid thing we called the chronology, like a couple of pretentious assholes. And after he left, I became its sole psycho-librarian. I'd just sit there in the dark, my laptop burning my thighs, and scroll. Not even looking at our faces. Just staring at the data. 2019-05-12, 11:43 p.m., that drive to the coast. 2021-08-01, 2:17 p.m. The Sunday we got flour all over the kitchen trying to bake bread. I was digging through my own fresh fucking ruins, looking for the exact second it all went to shit. My thumb had this twitch, refresh syncing. Synced, refresh, syncing, synced. A prayer to a god that doesn't exist. Then my brain really started to short circuit. About a week in, I started hearing things. I'd be in the shower and I'd hear it, that soft little thump of a file being dropped in. My heart would go fucking crazy like an animal in a trap. I would literally leap out of the shower, water everywhere, grabbing my phone, convinced he'd added something. Nothing. Of course, it was nothing. It was just the sound of me going insane. I stopped sleeping. In the dark, my mind would just invent new folders for him. Folders with pictures of her. Some woman with an easy smile who probably doesn't even know what a shared drive is. I'd just lie there, totally rigid, feeling this scream stuck in my throat. I forgot to eat. I'm not kidding. I found a banana in my purse that had turned into black mush. I have no idea how long it had been in there. I was a ghost. A ghost who still went to work and answered emails, but a ghost. I told myself it was fine. I was just processing. This was a normal part of grieving. I had it under control. Bullshit. It all went to hell when I saw it. It wasn't a picture. It was so much worse. It was a new folder. Just sitting there at the bottom of everything, after years of our entire lives. Created at 1:52 a.m. on a Tuesday. And it was just called Untitled Folder. All the air just left my body. Untitled. A blank fucking page. A new story he was starting that didn't even have a name yet. A space he was clearing out for a life I had zero part in. My hands got so sweaty I could barely hold my phone. For 3 days, that folder was the only thing in my head. I'd wake up and my first thought was just a giant question mark. I'd be at work staring at a spreadsheet and all I could see was that little gray icon. That empty fucking void. What was he putting in it? Was it her? Was it their new life? The not knowing was this special kind of acid just burning me up from the inside, and that's when I hit the real bottom. The grimy, no light gets in, disgusting bottom. It was a Saturday night. I was at my laptop, just staring at the empty folder, hitting refresh, refresh, refresh like a lab rat pushing a button for an electric shock. And then I did something that makes my skin crawl to even type out. I opened a new tab, went to his email login, and I started trying to guess his password. I tried everything. Our old dog's name, his mom's birthday, the name of our first street. Password incorrect. Password incorrect. Password incorrect. The screen flickered, reloading, and for a second it went black, and I saw my reflection. This gaunt, hollow-eyed person with greasy hair and a mouth hanging open. I didn't recognize her. And this wave of self-loathing, it was so pure and absolute it felt like I was drowning. I wasn't heartbroken anymore. I was just sick. I was a monster I'd built myself, sitting in a dark room, trying to break into a house that was already sold. I don't know how long I just sat there. I finally closed the laptop. The silence in my apartment was so heavy it felt like a physical thing. I felt like I was at the bottom of the ocean. Sometime in those gross, gray hours before morning, I picked up my phone. Not to check. To beg for help. I typed the most pathetic sentence of my life into Google. How to stop being your own worst enemy. I scrolled past all the smiling influencer bullshit, the articles about taking up knitting. And then, buried so deep in some ancient forum thread the website looked like it was from 2005, I saw it. One anonymous comment. This sounds insane, but the 7-day Disentanglement Protocol gave me a ladder. A ladder. It was so simple and so stupidly hopeful. The name sounded so fucking clinical, like instructions for defusing a bomb. But my whole life had already exploded. What did I have to lose? Day 1 was called the digital cauterization. The instruction was absolute: delete your access. Not log out. Remove yourself. Permanently. My cursor hovered over my own name for what felt like a year. This was it. Me choosing to go blind. To let the story keep going without me watching. My hand was shaking. I clicked the little X and then Save Changes. The page reloaded. You no longer have access to this folder. It felt like a punch in the stomach. A wave of pure, hot panic. The protocol said to write down one victory. On a crumpled napkin, I wrote, "I am no longer the librarian." It felt like the saddest, most pathetic victory in human history. Day 2. The physical anchor. The task. Wash one window until it's clean. It was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard. But I did it. I got spray and paper towels and I went to my grimy living room window. I scrubbed in circles, putting all my crazy, useless energy into the glass. I scrubbed until my arm ached. And then I stepped back, and the afternoon sun was pouring through, lighting up all the dust in the air. The world outside, the trees and the buildings, it was actually sharp and clear for the first time in months. My win. I can see the street again. Day 3 was the sensory reboot. Buy one piece of fruit and eat it, but only focus on eating it. I bought a green apple. I went home and sat at my kitchen table. I felt how heavy and cool it was. Then I took a bite, and the loud, violent crack of it actually made me jump. The tart, sour taste just flooded my mouth. For a solid 90 seconds, my entire universe was just that apple. I wasn't thinking about an empty folder. I was just a body tasting something. I wrote, "I tasted an apple," and then I just fucking cried. Because it was the first real thing I had felt all week that wasn't panic or shame. The next few days were just a blur of these small, weird tasks. Day 4 was making my bed. Day 5 was listening to an entire album of music I'd never heard, with no words. Day 6 was just sitting still and trying to watch my thoughts of him show up like trains, and just letting them leave the station without me getting on. This morning was day 7. I woke up because I was thirsty. That was it. My first thought wasn't a question mark. It wasn't a sync icon. It wasn't his name. It was just a normal signal from my own body. I went to the kitchen to get water, and I was just standing there when I realized it. I hadn't thought about the chronology. That obsessive itch in my brain, the one that had been running everything, was just quiet. It didn't fight me. It just faded. The silence in my apartment didn't feel heavy anymore. It was just quiet. I'm telling you all this, laying out all my ugly, crazy shit, because I know what it feels like to be on that floor. I know what it's like to be 100% sure you're hollowed out for good. I never thought a stupid, sterile list from a stranger on the internet could do anything. It didn't magically fix me. I'm still sad. But it gave me a scaffold. It gave me simple physical things to do while my mind was on fire. One rung at a time, it let me climb out. So if you're down there, in the dark, refreshing a ghost world that is only hurting you, just listen. The way out isn't some big revelation. It's small. It's washing a window. It's tasting an apple. Find your own ridiculous ladder. And just take the first stupid step. It might be the thing that teaches you how to look up again,